Hey, what's going on everyone? So today we're going to be testing out the Lectric Trike2 750 watt version. This is their new model out. If you guys seen my review a few months ago on the 500 watt version, this is an upgrade of that. And if you haven't seen it, go check out that video because a lot of the features of it, the display, getting into the settings, how it folds and everything like that is in that first video. So go check that out. But the key differences on this one, right off the bat, it has a torque sensor, which is going to give you a little bit more controllability on this model. It has a 17.5 amp hour battery, 48 volt, instead of a 48 volt, 13 amp hour battery on the 500 watt version. And what I'm most excited about is it has a 750 watt rear motor that peaks at 1310 watts, and it's outputting 85 newton meters of torque. So it's going to have more power for getting you up those steep hills, and it's actually a few miles an hour faster with a rated top speed of 17 miles an hour versus 14 miles an hour of the 500 watt version. But I'm going to show you a hack to get that to go even a little bit faster than that. Other than that, it has all the same features as the 500 watt version with the Star Union hydraulic disc brakes coming down to 180 millimeter rotor on the front and the rear. This trike has a 415 pound max payload capacity, with 330 pounds being the rider weight, 75 pound capacity on the rear rack, and a 30 pound capacity weight on the front rack if you install it with the 4 mounting brackets here. And the current sale they have for the Black Friday sale, you get quite a few accessories for free, including the front and rear basket, a bigger front headlight. It'll come with a bike lock that I haven't installed, but those are actually pretty nice, and a set of mirrors for seeing behind you while you're riding down the road. A suspension seat post. You get the bigger seat, which I actually took off for this ride, but it looks like this. I prefer the smaller, more comfortable ones like this. This is actually a cheap seat, but I love the Cloud 9 as well. I'll put links to both of those down in the description if you guys are interested either in the Cloud 9 or this cheaper version. And I'll also put some links down below to my favorite accessories, such as this cell phone holder that I've never had a problem with. Always holds my phone in there really well, even over a bunch of bumps, AirTag holders, and a bunch of other things that I use daily, so I'll put it down below in the description. And if you guys are interested in picking up this trike after watching this video or any of their other bikes, please use the link down below. It will be an affiliate link. I'll make a small commission if you do use that link, but that's what helps support this channel and helps me creating these videos for all of you. If you liked it, please watch till the end, share it, give a thumbs up, place a comment. That's what would really help me out if you find this content helpful. But without further ado, let's get into it and see what kind of power the 750 watt trike has, see if we can throw any error codes, see how the motor holds up. So let's get into it. All right, here we go. Lectric Trike 750. Let's see what kind of speed we can maintain up this first hill that I go up in all my videos. The 500 watt version was 7.7 miles per hour. That's what it dropped to going up this hill. Let's see if this one will beat it. Right now we're at 13, 11, 10, 10.8 on the bike, and it looks like it dropped to maybe 9 on the GPS, but the GPS isn't always completely accurate. Sometimes it fluctuates a little bit. I would say right around 9 miles per hour, which definitely beats the 500 watt version going up that hill. Currently 17 miles an hour on the trike and 17 miles an hour on GPS, so it looks like that match is pretty good. But I'm going to show you how to get it up to a little bit higher of a speed, about 19 miles per hour. So it definitely feels a lot faster than the 14 miles an hour of the 500 watt trike. I'm going to test out these brakes going downhill here. 21, 23, 24, 25. The brakes seem really good here. Nice and quiet. Let's try to get them hot, and I'm only using one brake, which is the rear brake. 27, 28 miles an hour, 29, 30, and I can't pull the front brake, so this is just the rear brake only, and excellent stopping power. And that's with just the rear. Now I do want to mention that if you are on a incline and you're going sideways and one wheel comes off the ground in the rear, then the brakes are not going to stop you, because the one that comes off the ground is the one that's going to lock up. So keep that in mind if you're going down a grade or anything. Make sure you keep your hand on the front brake. That way your one rear wheel doesn't come off the ground and you take off. So let's try out the pedal assist levels here and see how they are. Now I do have it on torque sensor mode. You can change it to go torque sensor or cadence sensor mode, and I tried them both out quickly before this test, and I got to tell you, I'm not even going to use cadence mode because torque mode works way better. It doesn't go to jerk you whenever you're in 5 and you start pedaling. It starts out really nice and gradual. So this is pedal assist 1, pedaling here easily at 6 miles an hour, and it doesn't seem like, let's start from a stop here. Starts out really, really nice and slow, very nice. So let's bump it up into tour mode. That's gonna get you a little bit faster. And honestly, you're probably not gonna be pedaling much past tour mode here. You can see how fast my legs are spinning already, going 10 miles an hour, because this is a single speed trike. So don't plan on pedaling it anything after tour mode. Anything after that, you're probably just gonna be throttling around. But so far, I'm loving the torque sensor. So let's just skip right to turbo mode here. This is the max mode. Now, when you are in this mode, it almost feels like a cadence sensor because you really don't have to put much effort into it. But what's nice is when you start out pedaling, it starts out pretty smooth and doesn't throw you, like I said. And then the harder, faster you push, the faster you'll go. I'm actually going uphill slightly right here, but I'll show you again on level ground what I mean, how it starts out really nice and slow. And then maybe I'll throw it into cadence mode just to show you the difference. But so far that motor's super quiet, can barely even hear it, and seems like it has tons of power. 16 miles an hour up this slight incline. 17 here, still going uphill. So very nice to have that few extra miles per hour in my opinion. All right, so starting out here in turbo mode, you can see it started out very nice and smooth. And I'm not even pushing on the pedals and it's already up to 15 miles an hour. So like I said, it's gonna act like it's a cadence sensor, but it's just gonna allow you to pull out a lot smoother. Let's go into the settings here and change it to cadence sensor mode and I'll show you the difference. So very easy to do. You just hold your plus and minus down. That takes you into the display settings, which are very, very easy to adjust everything, tells you what everything is. Go down to pedal sensor, turn that to cadence, and then hold your plus and minus again. Now it's in cadence sensor mode. And here's the difference. Starting out in turbo mode with cadence sensor mode, see how it takes off like that? It's definitely not as smooth as the torque sensor mode. So what I'm gonna do is go in there and change that back to torque sensor mode, and then I'm gonna change the tire size down to 19.5 inches. And what that's gonna do is allow me to gain a few more miles per hour. However, it is gonna make the odometer a little bit off on the trike, so focus on the GPS speedometer from now on, and that'll gain you about 2 miles per hour. Now, the 500 watt version, I was able to turn down below 19.5 inches. I was able to go even below 17 inches. When I set it to 17 inches, I was able to gain 3 miles per hour. So let me know if you have the 500 watt trike, if you're able to adjust yours down below the 19.5 inches, because that's something they must have changed recently. Or maybe only on the 750 version. But still, I'll take the 2 extra miles per hour for sure. But do that at your own risk and only if you feel comfortable doing it. Now it's a lot more smoother and I should gain about 2 miles per hour. Now I'm able to maintain 19 miles an hour, which is very nice. And the speedometer is actually not that far off on the trike, but GPS is showing 19. Actually right now it's showing 24 because I was going downhill slightly there. But once we get up on a more level straight stretch, I'll show you that it maintains 19 miles an hour very easily. So yeah, you gain about 2 miles per hour if you turn that tire size down, but it does throw your odometer off on the trike by about 1 mile per hour or so. This is a pretty level stretch here. Let's see what we can get up to with just throttle. 19 on GPS, 17.2 on the trike. So about 2 mile an hour gain. Now let's just pedal a little bit. Let go of the throttle, not putting any effort into it at all. And still 19 miles an hour. And it's still giving me 500 watts of output. So very nice to have that extra 2 miles an hour. And I just put the tire size back to 21.1 inches, and you can see now I'm only going 17, still shows 17.2 on the trike, but only 17 on GPS. So like I said, about 2 mile an hour gain, lowering that tire size down to 19.5 inches. All right guys, we just stopped here to take a little break to enjoy the scenery of the river and all the trees changing colors. I love fall time. It's the most beautiful time of year around here. Now, a few things you're gonna wanna know about this trike when you get it. It does come in like a beginner mode. You'll have to go into the settings and change that if you wanna go any faster than a few miles an hour in pedal assist 1 and 2. And assembly on this thing is super easy. Everything comes put together other than the front rack being installed. You have to put the fenders on, the front wheel, but I do wanna mention this trike does fold. However, it doesn't fold up very nice unless you have the fenders, the light off. If it's a bare trike with just the wheels, it folds up nicely if you take the front wheel off. And like I said, it does remove pretty easily. However, if you keep the wheel attached, it only gets so small, and then it's really awkward folding it. The back wheel's way up off the ground, so keep that in mind. You definitely have to take the front wheel off when you fold it, and you're not going to get it as compact as you could. If you really need that compactness, you're going to want to keep that front headlight off and the fenders. But overall, I'm loving the few extra miles per hour and the extra power versus the 500 watt version. But we're going to go hit some steeper hills in town, see how it does up that hill, and then a few longer hills back to home. So follow along if you want to see how it does. Oh, and this trike has walk mode. You just hold the bottom button down and it will go a few miles an hour here in walk mode. If you wanted to walk the trike up a steep hill, easy to do. And it also has cruise control mode, which I'm in right now. However, I noticed that as soon as you start pedaling in cruise control mode, it takes off like full speed, no matter what mode you're in. So right now I'm in eco mode, have cruise control set to like 4 to 5 miles per hour. So very nice, can cruise very slow if you want without hitting the throttle or having to pedal. But watch as soon as I start pedaling. If I don't really put any pressure into it, but as soon as I put a little bit of pressure in, it takes off full speed. What's nice is as soon as you quit pedaling, it does go back to that 4 to 5 miles per hour, so it stays set. However, as soon as you start pedaling, it'll go whatever you have it set to unlocked mode. So I'm assuming 19 miles an hour here, even though I have the cruise set on 3. It would have been nice if the cruise would have stayed the same as whatever pedal assist level you're in. For example, if the cruise was set on eco mode, it would be nice if you could pedal like this and it only give you this much power. But it doesn't work that way. When cruise is set and you're in eco mode and you start pedaling, it takes off. So that's one negative that I would have liked to have seen programmed a little bit different in this trike. All right guys, here we go. Steepest hill in town. Let's see how it does with just throttle. Let's see if we can make it all the way up. It's giving me 1245 watts. 47.4 volts under load. Oh yeah, it's gonna pull me right up it with just throttle, no problem. So very nice power to get me up the steepest hill in town with just throttle. All right everyone, so we're on the last long hill before I get back to my house. Just throttling only. Let's go ahead and pedal a little bit. And it's pulling me up this hill with no problem. Now, when we get to the top, actually right before I get home, we're gonna see if we get any over temperature error codes like I did on the 500 watt version. Now, like I said in that video, it showed me that it was over temperature a little bit and it didn't cut my power, so that was good. I think it was just a warning saying, hey, either pedal a little bit more or take it easy a little bit because stuff's hot, which is good instead of burning stuff out. But I don't think this one's gonna give me that code, but we'll see once we get up these last few steep hills. And it's pulling me up this last hill, no problem with just throttle easily. But I am gonna pedal a little bit, and I recommend that if you guys are going slow enough to go ahead and pedal, that'll save your battery life, your controller from overheating, your motor from getting hot, things like that. So if you could pedal, go ahead and do it. If you're going too fast to pedal, which I feel like I'm almost too fast right now at 13 miles an hour. Really only feel comfortable pedaling maybe around 10, but there we go. We're at the top, no overheating errors yet. So far, pretty good. And I did take this trike up the steep grassy hill with a fully charged battery to see how far I could make it and to see if I could beat the 500 watt trike. And it did. I got probably maybe 10 feet further on this, almost made it to the very top. So it definitely has more power than the 500 watt trike for sure, because it made it further up that hill. So far, very impressive guys. Very nice trike, very small, very stable. Even at 20 miles an hour, I feel perfectly stable here. And like I said, keep in mind, if you do get up on any type of sideways grade, and this is gonna be with any trike, it is gonna feel like it's gonna wanna track a little bit, so you kinda gotta get used to it, but overall, it's very stable. So we got one more hill to go up before we get back towards home. And that's the first hill I went up in the beginning of this test. So we'll see what kind of speed we can maintain after, let's see, I went about 7 miles on this trip. So the battery's down a little bit off of full. We'll see what kind of speed we can maintain. Getting a run for it. All right, 19 miles an hour here. Let's see what it slows down to going up this. And the voltage is at 47 volts, 46.3 under load right now. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. So 9 miles an hour was the lowest it dropped to with a battery that's not fully charged. So pretty good still, guys. Still better than the 500 watt version. And this is how it does on bumps. The suspension seat post is really nice, and it seems like the suspension takes out some of the bumps pretty good. But you can see it still seems pretty stable here, even on these bumps. It's when you get down onto like an angle like this, you kind of gotta just be careful, lean uphill when you're on it. It's gonna feel like it wants to go downhill, but you can see very stable. And this trike does turn on a dime. I mean, it has very good turning radius here. It could turn very sharp, just like all their trikes. All right, everyone, that's gonna be about it. Overall, it performed excellent. In my opinion, way nicer. Definitely a better deal than getting the 500 watt version for the couple extra $100 to get a bigger battery, torque sensor, more power, a 24 amp controller versus a 20 amp controller. Definitely a nice upgrade. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you're considering purchasing one of these, please use the affiliate link down below in the description to help support the channel. And if you like this video, subscribe, and I'll see all of you around on the next one. Thanks for watching, everyone.